First match, you said you battled through some very tough conditions, was slippery, hard to move. How did you feel today?
Yeah, slightly better. Obviously, a different opponent. I tried to stay calm, trying to serve, well important moments, and I think today that was the key. And not a lot of rhythm, so I tried, to stay quite compact, and then let's see what's coming in the next one.
So in your on-court interview, you spoke a bit of Spanish. How good is your Spanish, and how do you learn it?
No, it's not good yet. But my goal is to speak in 1 year Spanish. So I try to learn. I have Argentinian physio also, which that helps for sure. And then we see. But I understand a little bit, but cannot speak yet.
Muy bien. Do you have any apps that help you?
No, I still need to find out Duolingo or the other one is also Babbel, no? So let's see.
Bumble is a dating app.
No, it's not.
Babbel?
No, Babbel. Anyway, it's not a dating app. I don't need a dating app.
Okay, well done today. Thanks.
Is that Babbel?
I thought it was Bumble.
No, where's Bumble?
Where is that?
Babbel is one.
Oh, Babbel.
Yeah.
Babbel, yes. Yeah.
Babbel.
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 Jannik Sinner, the world number one, praised the Spaniard Rafa Jodar, one of the breakout players of the competition, whom he could face in the quarterfinals of the Madrid Masters 1000, and predicted a great future for him. Sinner trained a few days ago on the court next to the 19-year-old from Madrid, who is playing the Caja Mágica tournament for the first time. He's a player with tremendous talent. Today he was warming up with Nikolai Budkov-Kjær, the Norwegian. They're from a very interesting generation, born in 2006. There's João Fonseca, Jodar, Nikolai, Rei Sakamoto. They're all very good players, and it's a highly competitive year. Jodar strikes the ball with great precision, with very natural power. You can hear it in the sound when he hits it, and it's a good sound coming off the racket, explained the world number one. He has enormous talent. He's going to be a great player in the future, and he's already showing it. I like his mentality, he's quite calm. I don't know him personally, but he seems very humble. Yes, he's a very, very good player, and I wish him the best, Sinner added. The Italian has already reached 24 consecutive victories in Masters 1000 tournaments. He has surpassed Rafa Nadal and is approaching the records of Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. However, Sinner rejects such comparisons. I don't think about those records. I've always said, and I still say, that I don't compare myself to those names. They've achieved so much in their careers, and I'm just starting. Yes, they're on another level. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to play as many matches as possible. But what they did is something completely different. I just try to give 100% in every match. If I win, great. If not, I gave it my best and I don't regret it. That's all, he explained. I never take anything for granted. I try to understand what works well in certain conditions. A good example is Indian Wells and Miami, two completely different conditions. Then you go back to clay, you don't have much time, but you try to understand what works there. Then you come here, this is a clay court, but it has very particular conditions. I just try to understand what works. That's my motivation, putting myself in the best position possible to win as many matches as I can, and that's it, Sinner added. Regarding the court conditions, Sinner said they were more or less the same as in previous days. More or less the same. I think it also depends on the temperature and whether you play under the sun. It was a bit warmer, so it tends to get a bit more slippery because the court dries faster. But everything was quite fast. At the beginning of the set they watered it, so there's more grip. So yes, we're also getting a bit more used to it. And what if I told you that Jannik Sinner was secretly watching a young Spanish player during a match? While the world was looking the other way? On the central court of the Mutua Madrid Open, something quiet yet impactful was happening. Sinner was following every shot, every point, every gesture from Rafa Jodar. Without him knowing. What exactly did he see in that 19-year-old to stay and watch him? Stay with us, because this story goes far beyond a simple match. Rafa Jodar is delivering one of the most striking breakthroughs in Spanish tennis in recent years, establishing himself as an emerging figure in an increasingly competitive and demanding international circuit. At just 19 years old, his presence at the Mutua Madrid Open was not initially surrounded by major media expectations, but his performance on court has completely changed the perception. His ability to compete with intensity, intelligence, and determination has quickly placed him on the radar of fans and experts looking for the next big star in world tennis. The turning point came with his impressive victory over Alex de Minaur, a well-established top 10 player known for his consistency and speed on court. Jodar not only won the match, but did so convincingly, with a score of 6-3 and 6-1 that left his opponent with no answers. This result not only reflects his current level, but also his enormous growth potential, as defeating a player of that caliber on such a big stage is not something that happens often. Beyond the result, what truly stood out was the way Jodar managed every moment of the match, showing maturity far beyond his years and tactical awareness typical of much more experienced players. He knew when to take risks, when to stay calm, and how to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes without losing focus at any moment. This type of on-court intelligence is what often distinguishes promising players from those who truly establish themselves at the elite level in the long term. Another key element in his development is his relationship with his father, who is not only part of his coaching team but also a fundamental pillar of his emotional stability. Having that trusted figure courtside provides him with additional confidence in high-pressure moments, something that is clearly reflected in his performance. Jodar has openly acknowledged the importance of this bond, highlighting how it positively influences the way he faces challenges on the professional circuit. The Mutua Madrid Open environment has also been decisive in this story, as it is one of the most prestigious tournaments on the calendar, where pressure and visibility reach very high levels. Adapting to the conditions, especially at altitude and on clay courts, requires a process that many players fail to complete successfully. However, Jodar managed to use his first match in the tournament to adjust his game, allowing him to reach more demanding matches with greater confidence. Finally, the support of the crowd has played a fundamental role in his performance, becoming a constant source of motivation during his matches. Playing at home, on a court as iconic as the Manolo Santana, adds an emotional weight that can either be a boost or a burden. In Jodar's case, he has managed to channel that energy positively, using it as fuel to raise his level and deliver a performance that is already being considered one of the most outstanding of the tournament. But while Rafa Jodar was shining under the spotlight and earning recognition from the crowd, a parallel story was unfolding in silence, away from the cameras and immediate media attention. In the stands, carefully observing every detail of the match, was Jannik Sinner, one of the biggest names in tennis today. His presence was neither announced nor noticed by Jodar himself, making this moment far more intriguing than it might seem at first glance. The idea that a player of Sinner's level would take the time to watch a young talent live inevitably leads to all kinds of interpretations within the tennis world. It's not just about watching another match, it's about analyzing, studying, and perhaps anticipating what could become a future threat on the tour. Situations like this are not common, and when they happen, they often indicate that something special is beginning to take shape in a rising player's career. What's most striking is that Jodar had absolutely no idea he was being watched by one of the biggest stars of the moment, which reinforces the authenticity of his performance. He wasn't playing to impress anyone in particular, nor was he influenced by the presence of outside figures. He simply went out to compete and give his best. This naturalness is precisely one of the most valuable qualities in high-level sport, where pressure can affect even the most experienced players. When he was later informed about Sinner's presence in the stands, his reaction was one of complete surprise, adding yet another interesting layer to the story. Moments like this often become symbolic milestones in an athlete's career, signaling that they are beginning to attract the attention of the elite. It's as if, suddenly, the stage expands, and the player goes from being a local prospect to becoming part of a much broader conversation within the global tennis circuit.